Hi everybody, it's Christina from Adventures in Polish Land, and today I am really excited because I am going to pick my February TBR for the American Lit Reading Challenge. If you don't know what this is, essentially I am going to read a book set in every single US state and territory this year, and my goal is to see all of the different cultures and the vast diversity of people represented in our country and celebrate that. If you'd like to learn more, I will leave a playlist in the description box below that has all of the videos that I'm making related to the challenge, but it is currently midway through January. I am wrapping up my first set of 5 books, so I thought now's a great time to pick the next 5. So I have my Red Sox cup here. I printed off and cut up all of the states on different little slips of paper, so let's go ahead. I'll give this a good shake and then we will pick 5 states out of this cup. Okay, we have 1. Was that 1? Yep, 1. Making sure they're not stuck together. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, we have South Carolina, Massachusetts. I've got my New England Patriots sweatshirt on today. Hope they win. Actually, by the time you see this video, we will know. Oops, looks like I did have 2 together. I'll put 1 back. We'll see what is in here. Delaware. I cannot open these pieces of paper today. We have New Mexico. And we have Maryland. So I still haven't gotten any territories, but I have 5 new states to work from. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera off. I have a list of books that I've already set aside to read for this challenge. We'll see if any of those match up with these states, and if they don't, I'm going to do some research and find some new books for my TBR, and I'll be right back to share with you what those are. Okay, I'm back. I have my list put together. If you see a glow coming from over here, I have my computer so I can tell you what my picks are. But just like last month, I only had 1 book pre-planned for these 5 states, and that was The Unseen World by Liz Moore. This one is from Massachusetts. I have had this book on my want to read list from my library for so many years. I remember I heard about it from Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and she loved this book, and I've had it on my list ever since then. I really don't know anything about it. Based on a quick look at the summary, it looks like it's set in a computer science lab in 1980s era Boston. I have read 1 other book by Liz Moore, which I liked. That was The God of the Woods. I didn't love the ending, but it was an overall good reading experience, so I'm excited to finally get to this one. For Delaware, I am doing something a little bit interesting, and I am going to read a book that I previously bought and then unhauled without reading, and that is the Book of Unknown Americans by Cristina Henríquez. I believe it was Rincey from Rincey Reads who had talked about this several years ago, and then I found a copy at Dollar Tree when it was still $1. I bought it, had it on my TBR shelf for a very long time, and then just decided I wasn't interested anymore and unhauled it. But this book is set in Delaware, and I think it's time I read it. It looks like it is about immigrant families, specifically a relationship between a Panamanian boy and a Mexican girl. So I think this is a very timely read, and it really fits the purpose of my project, which is to celebrate all of the different voices that we have here in the United States. So I'm going to give this book another try, and this time I'll be reading it from the library. When it comes to South Carolina, I'm reading a book that I've never heard of before. It is called Bastard Out of Carolina. It's by Dorothy Allison, and it sounds like it's a semi-autobiographical novel about a young girl in South Carolina who, it says, grows up with a tight-knit clan of rough-hewn, hard-drinking men who shoot up each other's trucks and indomitable women who get married young and age too quickly. So This summary reminded me a bit of The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, which I read in November of this past year and really, really enjoyed. So I think I'm going to enjoy this one. And it has a very high rating on Goodreads of 4.14. So I'm excited to read that. Then for Maryland, which finding a book that was distinctly set in Maryland and distinctly set in Delaware was a little bit challenging. So I'm going with Kindred by Octavia E. Butler, which I know I've heard people talk about before. I know she's a very beloved author. And this one looks like it's set in California and Maryland, so I'm going to count Maryland for this. I'm not really sure what this book is about. I'm looking at the description and it says it explores the impacts of racism, sexism, and white supremacy then and now. And it looks like it's tagged as both historical fiction and time travel. So this is going to be interesting. I'm going in basically without knowing much at all. This is another one that has very high ratings of 4.31 stars on Goodreads with over 270,000 ratings. So I'm going to go in and just go ahead and read it. It sounds very, very interesting, and it's time I tried out this author that so many people have talked about. And finally, for New Mexico, I am going to read House Made of Dawn by N. Scott Momaday, which is a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. And this one is about a young Native American who comes home from war and finds himself caught between two worlds. The first is his father's, and then the second world is modern industrial America. So this sounds like a really important and interesting story. It obviously won the Pulitzer Prize. Doesn't have the best rating out of all the books that I've told you today, but I think it sounds really interesting. It was published in 1968, so I'm also going back in time a little bit, and my library had all of these books available to check out, so I've placed them all on hold. Hopefully they'll come in with the next couple of days and I will be ready to continue on this project. So this is so much fun. You can tell I just put my computer away by the light there, but only one of these books I already had on my list. One of them I have purchased and unhauled, and then 3 of them are brand new to me. I'm pretty sure I've only heard of Kindred by Octavia E. Butler before. I would love to know if you are also participating in a challenge like this. What are some of your favorite books set in either these states or other states? I would love to know. And make sure to subscribe because I will be reviewing all of these books on my channel as I read them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.